Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Welcome to a community that provides spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shearer, and I'm the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to join us for the live Zoom meeting, please contact me for the link and the password, or check on our website, www.cslpv.org, on the weekly talk section. And there you will find the link and password as well. Today is Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. And we are continuing our monthly topic, which is playing with paradox. And the topic for this week is the tyranny of the or. So at this time, I'd like to once again welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching and to our center here in Puerto Vallarta, whether you are here live on the Zoom call or watching the replay at a later time. Here we teach a philosophy called the science of mind, and we honor all faiths, all traditions. So whatever path you are on, know that it is the right one for you. And no matter what your background is, please know that everyone is welcome here. We value each and every one of you. So as I mentioned, we teach a philosophy called the science of mind, and it's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. We offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth, and we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. When Dr. Ernest Holmes founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts in order to create the science of mind, which focuses on the individual use of thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. When asked to provide a concise definition of the science of mind teaching, he replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. Each week, we offer a service with an inspirational message, and we are meeting at 10 a.m. Central Time on Zoom and 12 p.m. in person. So come hang out with us and enjoy some great conversation with like-minded people after the service. And if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for a spiritual mind treatment to assist you with whatever emotions you're going through or challenges or change, whatever it is you're experiencing in life or would like to experience more of, then please connect with me. And if you would like to commit to being a member of the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this current year or the upcoming year, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, then please contact me so that you can be sent the application form. I'd also like to remind you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. And if you're interested in learning more about the science of mind teaching, we'll be offering some new courses soon. And we have postponed our professional practitioner studies class via Zoom. So if you're looking to join a class, please connect with me so that we can get together on some dates and times that's convenient for all those that are interested. We'll also have a few other interesting workshops offered later this year. So connect with me or check out our website to find out more details. And if there's a specific course or workshop or book study that you would be interested in taking, please let me know so that we can plan dates for those as well. So now, as we do each week, let's together review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose here each week, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this by means of our vision, which is creating the life you desire. And this is supported by our mission to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And you can read more on these in depth on our website as well. So author and researcher Jim Collins reminds us that builders of greatness are comfortable with paradox. They don't oppress themselves with the tyranny of the or, which pushes people to believe that things must be either A or B, but not both. So this week, we look at the ways that the or has kept us in bondage and some of the solutions that may exist in the third way. So our world is full of polarities that are pushing us to the breaking point in many ways. We've been so committed to choosing either or that we've been unable and unwilling to look at the solutions that may exist when we open up to embrace a new way of thinking. And we're now at a tipping point that requires us to step into a new way of being, or risk being swallowed up by the old and outdated mindset that's no longer working. We must release ourselves from the tyranny of the or in order to embrace the third wave that is waiting for us just past the unknown. We're aware that war and peace form the biggest paradox of all. So how do we continue to know peace in the midst of war? We can't move toward a more peaceful world until we address the underlying causes of violence, inequity, injustice, colonialism, and oppression of all forms. Ernest Holmes declared, "The promise that comes from practicing a conscious sense of union with the divine is a deep, abiding peace, even in the midst of personal or planetary challenges. We can create a spiritual chain reaction which can bring peace in the mind or in the midst of chaos." And this is what he wrote in How to Use the Science of Mind. "Behold, I make all things new. There is nothing permanent but change, and the infinite intelligence can never be caught in anything it does. What it does express its being at that particular time. Tomorrow, it may do it in an entirely different way, but always in accord with its fundamental harmony." So often in the science of mind, we say to turn away from the condition. And we've taken this to mean that we should look away from the problems and the suffering currently going on in our world. But this viewpoint, however, only means that the suffering and problems remain for those that don't have the privilege of turning away because they're in the midst of the challenge. So instead, let's turn towards the condition and deny its power over reality. In doing this, we not only deny the condition, but also support those suffering from its effect in rising above it and moving forward. In this way, we can use the power of our mind to not only look away, but also transform the aspects of our world that are not working for us and for everyone, and truly build a world that works for all. The fighting between Russia and Ukraine, the fighting in Africa, as well as the most recent battle between the Israeli and the Palestinians, are not new. They've been fighting for years. In fact, the war in the Gaza Strip has been going on for centuries. And what are they accomplishing? Mass destruction and bloodshed on both sides. One thing that needs to be figured out, if we, humankind, are ever going to manage a more peaceful world, is how we can peacefully move on from historical injustices. And it'll serve the efforts of individuals, governments, and international organizations. As individuals, we can educate ourselves to understand the history, culture, and politics of the conflicts. And we can engage in open, respectful conversations with people from different backgrounds and promote tolerance, diversity, and inclusivity. Change often begins at the local level, including in our own neighborhoods, communities, and within ourselves. Ernest Holmes wrote this: "Change is the law of human experience, for only God is permanent. The infinite mind is forever conceiving new ideas, and the infinite law is forever producing new forms." So in our world today, we see the tyranny of the or in almost every aspect of life. Sometimes it's simple as going out for dinner and asking if you want coffee or tea or water or a beverage. Why not both? For generations, we have chosen between seeming paradoxes, only to stand now on the precipice of everything falling apart. The systems and ways of thinking that we have utilized up until now are no longer sustainable. We no longer get to choose between economic growth or taking care of people, technological advances or preserving the environment, being conservative or liberal, tearing our societal systems down or holding them up no matter what. Good for the many or good for the few. Taking care of ourselves or taking care of others. Personal safety or collective freedom. The list goes on and on. Instead, we must focus on finding new solutions and setting aside our differences and working together, working towards a third way. Some people argue that we have to choose between protecting the environment and promoting economic growth. Well, instead of a binary choice, consider approaches such as sustainable development, which seeks balance in environmental protection and economic progress. So this might involve policies that encourage great green technologies, renewable energy, and responsible resource management. It takes a more open-minded and adaptive approach to find solutions that can benefit a wider range of participants. So for years, a mother duck led her new family of ducklings to the same pond. It was a place of safety and beauty. However, one year she found it dry and empty. Nothing remained but dry mud. Yet she persisted in bringing her babies down to the pond, where she would walk about, flapping her wings, anxiously quacking, and trying to get her brood to enter. The ducklings, however, with their fresh instincts, heard the far-off rippling of the water in a new dam being built further upstream. The little ducklings refused to enter the dried mud hole. Instead, they left their mother quacking beside her empty pond and set out to find new water. The mother duck had a closed mind. She could not accept the reality that the water was gone. She chose not to live in the real world so that she could remain in her little world because it was familiar. Like the little ducklings, we must remain open to a new future, open to new ideas, open to others, and open to learning new things. To do so is to remain and maintain a childlike faith in the divine. Stephen Covey said this: balance isn't either or, it's and. So we're beginning to see what is possible when we step out of our rigid ways of thinking and stand with vulnerability and curiosity in the third way. Technological advances are actually being used to save the environment, such as the use of drones to identify the plastics in the ocean and along beaches, to help educate the people on reduction or safer disposal methods. Politicians are crossing the aisle to pass necessary bipartisan legislation. And countries that take care of their people first are flourishing. And systems that need to crumble are left to crumble naturally, while society focuses on building up the systems that need to continue to stand. Through all of the challenges and obstacles we see when we look out, we can also find many examples of the third way being utilized. For example, global vaccination efforts during the COVID pandemic, and the Red Cross providing international cooperation in health emergencies. Ram Dass said this: the less attached you are to your own desires, the more you can hear what other human beings need, and the less you project your own needs. Your response is more compassionate and appropriate to the need at hand. It doesn't mean you don't have desires. The paradoxical question is, how can we be fully engaged in life, yet not be attached? Translating the inner work on ourselves into action is a subtle art. So really, we're at a tipping point in our world, and our systems are no longer working. And we are in the process of a major paradigm shift. We can either continue to hold tightly to the beliefs, ideas, and systems that we know are no longer working for us, or we can choose to willingly let go and begin building the new systems together. The question is not whether it will be painful or not, as most likely it will. The question is, how much are we going to allow our attachment to cause us suffering? Numerous spiritual teachers over the years have reminded us that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The work has already begun by people all over the world, and Centers for Spiritual Living is standing on the forefront of leading this change. Together, we can use our teaching to step away from the tyranny of the or that our world has lived in for so long and enter a new way of finding the possibility that exists in the paradox. Author Ralph Peters said this: the great paradox of the 21st century is that in this age of power technology, the biggest problems we face internationally are problems of the human soul. So it starts with us, and it's up to each one of us to answer the call of paradox. Are we willing to let go of what we have always known in order to step into what we know is possible? Are we willing to embrace the pain of vulnerability and uncertainty and release that pain and suffering that always seem to go hand in hand? This journey from the polarity to a third way is full of discomfort and missteps. However, it can still be fun. The paradox of good and hard have never been truer than it is at this moment. The journey is both good and hard, playful and serious, necessary and optional. The very act of opening ourselves up to paradox is a paradox itself, and we are always at choice in every moment. So I'll leave you with this quote. It's funny how the ugly duckling always has so many beautiful things to teach us. And that leads us to our affirmation for the week. I release everything that is no longer serving me. And so now it's our time for mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. We bless the financial gifts that you give. Every donation is greatly appreciated, no matter the amount. Your contributions are circulated with our tithing to our greater organization, which reaches out globally as well as locally. And we also tithe to a local women's shelter to assist women and children that have left an abusive home and allows them the opportunity to become grateful for the assistance to become productive and successful members of our community. Donations can be made by using PayPal or Tithely from our website. And that is www.cslpv.org. You'll find the donate buttons on both the landing page and at the top of the page for the weekly talk replays. Or if you would like to still write out a paper check, you can do so by sending it to CSLPV, number 403, 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y8N1. No matter which method you choose, I encourage you to please give. And now it's our time for our offertory affirmation. If you would like to join me in saying, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for coming and sharing this time together. And let's continue practicing peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. It starts with us. Peaceful living includes acting with compassion, kindness, and consideration. And it also includes standing up against injustice. May peace and love be with you. Blessings to all. Namaste.